Continue our focus now on the immense impact this ongoing pandemic is having on mental health, and the numbers are staggering.
A recent nationwide survey by researchers at Boston University found 83% of students said their mental health had negatively impacted their academic performance. 2/3 said they were struggling with feelings of loneliness and isolation. College, of course, already comes with a lot of pressure. Dr. Barbara Lewis is the Director of Counseling and Mental Health Services at Harvard University. Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Lewis, let's start with what you are seeing in your role. How has the past year and a half impacted the students that you interact with every day? As Erica just mentioned, I would have to think that that feeling of loneliness, that disconnectedness, especially as so many things, so many classes, activities went virtual, is very real for college students.
Yes, and I would say there was a pandemic around mental health before the actual COVID-19 pandemic struck. But I think what we've seen in students coming back, they're very excited to be back with their friends, living in their community. And I think that was very important. But there's definitely high anxiety. And I think mostly around the notion that the COVID-19 pandemic might actually send them home again and disrupt their education. So they're anxious about following the rules, the guidelines around testing, wearing masks, so that they stay safe enough to remain on campus. I think there's also just anxiety being back in the classroom. I think during the pandemic when students were learning remotely and some students didn't have the same access to resources, I think there was less pressure on them. And now that they're back in the classroom, I think there's a felt sense of more pressure to succeed academically. And then I think too, we do have students across the country who probably learned better remotely because they have social anxiety. So they didn't have to deal with being around students in a large classroom. And then students who have attentional issues would often, they could get up and walk around to continue, to maintain their focus, which they can't do when they're in a classroom.
Of course. Well, for parents, it's so hard to see their kids head off to college in the first place. For some students, it's the transition. Others, maybe they've been at school already. But what can parents do? It's hard to really monitor your kids if you're far away. What are some warning signs, even from afar, of a struggle? What are questions that parents should be asking?
Well, I think, it's always tricky with college students how much parents should do because we don't want to be overbearing as parents, but we really do have to stay involved. And I think for students who are in regular contact with their parents, I think they probably have a better sense of when there's a change. And I always tell parents, you know your child best. So if there is some change in behavior or patterns, I think be curious, be open, listen. I know I learned from my son, don't try to step in and take care of it or make it better or fix it. Just listen. But if you see that maybe their mood has dropped and they're more tired, more distant, always ask if there's something going on. And ask them if they want to talk to you about it.
And Dr. Lewis, you mentioned a change in behavior. So something as simple as communication. If someone is normally communicating and reaching out to their parents maybe once a week, if that suddenly shifts, that would be perhaps a red flag?
Yes. And then there are things you can notice if this is more in the Zoom world, where we could communicate with family members and see them at least on a screen. Faculty members were noticing this too. If you have someone who looks disheveled or just lacking in energy, or maybe not looking at you, or maybe having their video off, maybe there's something going on.
All right.
that is worth asking about.
Dr. Barbara Lewis, thanks for all of that great advice from Harvard University. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Do want to share with our viewers, if you need someone to talk to about suicide, for example, contact Call to Talk. The nationwide hotline is 800-273-TALK. Again, 800-273-8255. The local number is 508-532-2255, or you can text C to T to 741-741. There is someone ready to talk 24 hours a day. We've posted more links and resources on our WCVB app.